Welcome back to JV Adulting. It's your host, Sarah. It's game time. Let's go. What's up, JV Squad? Happy Monday. I'm very excited to introduce our guest this week. We have Dre, the founder of Loon Lake Candles. She is 28 years old. She's a badass woman. And she started her own candle company called Moonlight Candles. Dre, how we freaking doing?
We are doing so good, Sarah. How about you?
Yeah. Oh, doing well. End of month here in sales. The month's not ending the way I really wanted it to, but you know, you win some and you lose some. So
yeah. Next month's gonna just be a killer though for you, so that's good.
Hey, I like the sound of that, and absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a little fire under your ass to get you going again, right? So you're like,
oh, totally.
Yeah. So how's Grand Rapids, Minnesota?
Oh, it's Park Rapids, so a little bit. Yeah, like a couple hours away, but it's good. It's pretty desolate, but I mean, we're on a lake, so no complaints.
Yeah, absolutely. Did it rain all day up there?
No, not at all. Was it rainy there?
Yeah, it was raining in the city like all day. Very, very dreary, depressing day.
Oh, I mean, it was ominous, but like it was still pretty dry. No wind or anything either. It was fine.
Wow. But I bet it's 40 degrees up there?
Yeah, it's cold. Like we have our little heaters on. This cabin's probably over 100 years old. And we only have like little tiny like side heaters, and then there's a fireplace. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty old school, but it's really nice.
Do you guys see yourself living there this winter?
No, it's not winterized, so that wouldn't be an option, but we have no idea what we're doing this winter. We're just kind of playing it out.
Well, hey, you just roll with the punches. We like that.
Yeah, you gotta, honestly.
For sure. Also, squad, just to let you know, if you are watching our YouTube channel, Dre looks very official she has a headphones on and a microphone. She looks like she is a podcaster. So
yeah, my boyfriend Dylan, he is starting to do voiceover work. So he has like a nice ass like microphone and all this stuff, and so it worked out that you asked me to do this podcast.
You look fabulous.
Oh, thanks, Sarah.
Yeah, no problem. So I just really want to start off. Talk to us. Tell us the story of Moonlight Candles. How did you even think of the idea?
Sure. So actually, it was about a year ago. We were here because starting of the pandemic, and we were like remote, so we were gonna come down here for a week. We ended up staying here for like 6 weeks, and I was just sitting down one day working, and I was just like, candles, man. Candles. And I was like, I don't know. And then I didn't stop thinking about candles for since today. So
yeah,
over a year. I don't know why. I'm not sure. It was stuck in my brain.
Well, that's cool. So like, have you always been a candle lover?
No. Like I mean, I've always had candles in my apartment or my house or whatever, but it's never been like, oh my God, candles. Nothing like that.
Nothing like how it consumes your mind now.
Yeah. I don't know how or why. Just sometimes things just like tell you the way to go, if that makes sense. It just is like, this is your thing. You got to do that thing. It was that.
So like internally, you were just like, wait, this is my thing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I can't think of any other way to explain it other than it was my destiny in a way. Weirdly.
Yeah. Oh my God, no, I love it. I think candles are, they're so relaxing and they're so soothing, as well as like when there are dark times or you're having a bad day, or for instance, when I'm stressed at work, I will light a candle because it's just, or when something goes wrong, just a little light in your life is always important. So
Totally. I totally agree. And like you can just change the mood of a room with a
Totally.
scent, right? I mean, if you just cleaned your entire house and you light up a lemon scented candle, it's like, damn, I cleaned this motherfucking house. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Can I say
Oh,
that?
oh yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We definitely we are okay with swearing
Yes.
on this podcast. Yes.
Got it.
Um so how'd you come up with the name Loon Lake Candles?
Um, I actually wanted to name it the Lovely Loon, like Lovely Loon Candles right away, and Dylan was like, "That's too girly. You can't do that." And so it just ended up being Loon Lake. The lake that we're on right now is covered in loons. Like every night you
Um,
hear them screaming. So I think that kind of had something to do with it.
how did you start even creating the label? Just kind of tell us your story on like all of
Oh boy.
that
Okay,
fun.
so what I had no idea starting out was how much testing and how much research needed to be done to
Yeah.
make a candle. Like the amount of waxes available to you to buy and the amount of wicks you can put in and the different types of fragrance oils you can use. It's like a little
How
much.
did you choose the type of wax, wicks, oils?
So, my absolute candle bible was a Facebook group actually, where
No
all
way.
so thousands of candle makers are on this group and
Cool.
yeah, like question after question and no doubt like whatever question you have has been asked like dozens of times. So you can just like
Cool.
go there and like find your answer and that's how I decided everything. So yeah, like going back to kind of the story of everything else, in April of 2020, I had the idea of candles. And then I tested and I researched all the way until September, like the end of September. And I bought the LLC at the end of September, which is like 155 bucks in the state of
Crazy.
Minnesota. So then you're like a legit business. I launched the actual website. I think it was November 1st. It was wild because like Christmas time, around that time is I mean, Q4 for candles is insane.
Yeah.
For anything. I mean, any type of website that sells stuff, Q4 is just huge, and, I was stressed. I'm not gonna lie, like, that was
Yeah.
so stressful because I still had a 9 to 5. We just got a dog, so we had a puppy,
Okay. How
and
long?
oh my god, and I was doing 75 hard, if you've ever heard of that too, like,
What is
all at
that?
the same time. It's like a it's like a workout program this guy Andy Frisella came up with, and basically you have these things that you need to accomplish every single day, like I had to drink a gallon of water, read 12 pages or 10 pages of nonfiction a day, do 2
Really?
workouts a day, and follow a diet for 75 days straight.
Oh my God. And you did
Yeah,
it
while I was doing this.
while you
I
were launching your business.
don't recommend. Honestly, wouldn't recommend. But it was it was like a mental, like, challenge that I've never had before, and so it just kinda made me realize, like, "Yo, you got this, like, you can do anything if you can do this." So it
Mhm.
really I mean, if anything, it made me realize my potential, which here we
So
are today.
what advice would you give to people that are kind of in the same boat, like wanting to launch a business?
Um Everything that you think it's gonna take a certain amount of time, it's gonna take double or triple that.
Yep.
So, if you're whatever it is, like designing a logo, building the website, all the different steps, it's gonna take longer, but you really have to just, like, dive deep and just however you learn figure that out right away because I'm a person where I just need to sit down, not have anything in front of me, and just go for it. I mean, and just like do it. Whereas other people like to work in little sections.
Yep.
So yeah. Also any type of like government website is going to be extremely helpful to you for like taxes or
Um,
getting the LLC or the sales tax that's due in like February of each year. Um, Even calling them, they're so nice. Like, especially if you're in
oh, that's
Minnesota.
great. So how did you like set your goals? You know, like how did you remind yourself of what you were trying to do?
Um, I don't even remember ever writing down. Actually, no. So during like my work day, I always have like these like thoughts that just come in. So I always have a
Totally.
piece of paper like right next to my desk. Do you do that? Do you ever do
Yeah,
that?
I do that. Oh
Oh my
yeah.
god. Like that to-do list and you're like, "Shit. Okay, here we go."
Oh,
Writing that down.
yeah.
So
The one that
that just yeah.
I'm a big. Do you know the Eisenhower matrix?
No, what is that?
Oh my gosh. Well, President Eisenhower came up with this four quadrant matrix of just how you should spend your time. I mean, we could talk a whole podcast about this, but you should look at it. But it's really changed my life. Just because I would spend so much time doing things that probably weren't working towards my long time goal, but it would satisfy even others in that specific moment. I was creeping on you on your Insta, and you posted this cute little thing in Instagram versus reality, just about kind of your story about starting Loon Lake and like you, and you called yourself a serial quitter. I would like you to provide some context to that, please.
Totally. So, I'm someone that has a lot of ideas up here that are just so grand. Like they're just the best ideas, right? And I would always like talk about them and just, never put them onto paper and never let them come to any type of fruition. I would just,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
like
mean,
regardless of what it was. I mean, even during COVID or what I guess it's still, I don't know. Um I became certified in spin. Like I'm now a certified spin instructor.
okay.
And at the same time, I was becoming a certified yoga instructor. And I
What the?
quit yoga instructing. I quit the yoga instructing and I regret that. I
Totally.
do. Yeah. But whatever it was, like when it came to anything outside of work, I would just quit.
Yeah.
Whether it was a diets, quit.
Oh, yeah. Those are hard, though.
Serious, but, like, I
Well,
just
everything is hard, right? You just need to
right.
have mental mind over matter type situation. So, listen, squad, something that Dre and I actually have in common. We worked in logistics. Dre recently just left her 9 to 5, or I mean, in logistics, it's literally 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I brought you to the point you're like, hey, I need to leave my 9 to 5.
Oh, so, I mean, there wasn't just one point.
Totally.
You know that. It just it adds up like a I don't even know. It's just like every little thing just kept going and going, and then I reached a point where I would just start tearing up on phone calls, and I'm like, "What the hell am I doing? What is my life right now? Like this is not me." And I told like I was talking to you, I am an introvert at heart, so when I'm always putting myself out there constantly, like I didn't know how much that was dwindling or, impacting the real me.
Oh, yeah.
And you're in sales, so like you have an awesome, extroverted, like lively, robust personality.
Thank
And
you.
me, like even doing this podcast, I'm like, whoa, this is like pushing me out of my comfort zone, but in a good way. Because I'm
Yeah,
comfortable with you. You know what I mean?
for sure. For sure. Well,
Yeah.
thanks so much for coming on, and thanks for getting yourself out of your comfort zone, because you're going to inspire so many people just that have thoughts or look at something, not a candle, and just like, hey, maybe I could do something with that. You're going to inspire a lot of people. So thanks so much for coming
Mhm.
on. But I mean, Dre, I know you, I think you know this about me, but like obviously I journaled about having a podcast for 3 years.
Mhm.
And my whole life, people are like, oh, you should be a talk show host. But when you started Loon Lake Candles, you were like, Sarah, because remember I texted you and I was like, I've been wanting to start a podcast. Like, I'm so impressed that you freaking did it, because I tell myself I'm going to do it. I just never do it. So you are one of the main reasons why I was like, this is Q1 2021. At that point, I didn't know it was going to be JV Adulting. Launched, so thank you so much for doing that. And it's incredible that you do say that you have like the social anxiety, because even your stories on Loon Lake of you like just talking about your candles are so funny, and it looks like it's a piece of cake to you.
Dude, I take about like 15 takes each time because I'm just like sweating in my boots. Yes, that is real. That is like the real me. Like, it's not natural for me to like speak. It's just not. Like, I feel like you could be put in a den of lions, Sarah, and you would be able to talk them out of eating you. Like, that is how good you are at talking. And I'm like, how does she do it? I just don't get it.
Oh, that is so funny. That is so funny. Well, I mean, I think you do a great job. I mean, okay, so actually I wanted to ask you about this anyways, but today your story about the Wicks. So Dre's story on Loon Lake today, Instagram story, that's what I'm referring to, was literally her testing her new candle wicks and like what wick she wants to use on. Tell us a little bit more about that. Like, number one, how the frick do you pick wicks? And like, how much time and effort does like testing it take? Because I know it takes a ton of time just to make the wax.
Yeah.
Everything.
Right. Okay, so the reason why I'm switching wicks is because I'm now making my own jars. I'm not buying them anymore. So I just want to read
those.
Yeah, I make all of them, every single one. And I wanted to do the switch over to wood wicks instead of a cotton wick. Basically because of the kind of the ambiance a wood wick brings, right? Like, you can hear that crackle. And I feel like that just brings like a whole new level to a candle. And so, yeah, I was testing 16 different wicks today. So I was just, and I've narrowed it down to 3 that are, good. So I'm really excited about that.
Okay, that is really exciting. And like, even just seeing the differences, it just, number one, it makes me understand that there's shitty candles and there's good candles.
Totally.
And because I'm just like a TJ Maxx girl. I mean, I am totally Bath and Body Works, or I guess White Barn. Obviously, I'm a Loon Lake ride or die.
Right.
But that's like all I knew. But now looking at just like learning from your stories, it makes me second guess sometimes when I buy. Also, Squad, Aundrea taught me the most interesting thing about my candle wick. Can you explain why you're supposed to cut your candle wick?
Oh, yeah. So regardless of any type of candle you have, whether it's from Bath and Body or from, a boutique candle store, you always need to cut your wick before you light it. Always. Like, that little mushroom, that little black stuff that you get on the tip of that?
Yeah.
If you just light that without taking that off or clipping it, it's just going to create a ton of carbon. It's going to burn your candle even faster. And it's just going to create an uneven burn in the candle. So it's just, you're just setting it up for failure, really.
For my knowledge, when you're testing all of those wicks, like, are all of those unscented candles?
They're all scented. Yeah. It was a lot today, actually. But you have to put in the scent, because without a scent, a candle will burn differently. The wax will completely burn. Yes. Yes, and the amount of fragrance too will impact it as well. So
oh my God, this is just so interesting. I mean,
really? I didn't think anyone would be interested.
The hardest part of becoming a business owner?
I think the hardest part is getting over your mental limitations that you've already put on yourself that you don't even know. Like, your subconscious is just constantly beating you down if you let it. I mean, there have been multiple times I know we were going to talk about this a little bit later, but you were saying, has there ever been a time where you thought you would quit? And yes,
Yeah.
all the time, all the time. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I'm not doing a 9 to 5. Like, what? Like, people don't do this. This is weird. But you just have to really just pack the sand on those thoughts particularly. And then you're just like, just keep moving forward. Just keep doing what you're doing. People are liking it. And it doesn't even have to be a ton of people. It can be 10 people that really love what
Exactly.
you're doing. That is it. Just like a podcast, you can have 10 listeners, and
And
those 10 listeners will tell one more person. There, now you have 20 listeners. Then you get 30, then you get 100, then you get
yeah,
1,000. It's just a community, really.
it really is. And obviously, I feel like we could talk about this for hours, but it's for me, sometimes you have to remind yourself. So, like, even when my listens go down like a week, I'm just like, oh, did
Mhm.
the squad not like the content? But at the same time, the reason why I'm having a podcast is for people to come here, relate, relax, laugh, cry, whatever, right? So,
Totally.
like, if 30 less people listen to it, that's okay, because you know what? They
Mhm.
didn't want to come and listen. And like, I
Mhm.
just, but like sometimes it is that mental
Yeah,
stress of you're just like, well, shit, do I stop?
right. That's totally it too. And you can either think of it like that, or it can just turn into just, man, like, the people that did listen really got a lot out of that content, and I
Amen.
know it, and I just know it, I feel it in my heart, and
Yeah,
that's all that matters. You gotta take
yeah,
those thoughts and fly with them, or else you're
I
just gonna
love
get
that.
beat down.
Well, what has been your biggest accomplishment?
Oh, I think my spring launch was my biggest accomplishment so far, because January, February, I, like, for sure thought I was quitting. Like, I for sure was, like, wanting to throw in the
Really?
towel. Yeah, like, I was just like, I mean, like I said, Q4 almost knocked me on my ass. I was, like, up until midnight, 1 a.m., and, like, I was not me. And so I was like, "I can't do that again. I can't do that again."
Mhm.
And then I just set up a structure that worked for me, where I would
Yeah,
just do a couple hours after work or whatever, just to make it
yep.
easier. So, yeah, really coming back and doing that spring launch just allowed myself, it allowed me to tell myself, "You got this and you can do it. No matter how hard it was, you can make it easier on yourself." And I think that's kind of the message that I needed to have inside me.
Totally. I remember also, I just want to remind you another of accomplishment, your pop-up store. I
Mm.
remember actually, yeah, like you shared with me, you said, Sarah, I've never seen someone smell my candles before.
Yeah, I mean, you think about that because of COVID and everything. Like, you
Oh
have
yeah.
never seen people face to face literally hold up like, that first smell is
Oh my God.
everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've been to any kind of candle store, Bath and Body or whatever, and you're like,
Totally.
"Oh, that's good," or you've been like, "Oh, ooh," you know what I mean? It's
Oh, for sure.
yeah, yeah.
And was it so great to see people like pick and choose? They're like, oh, that one's good, but like I like this one better.
Yes, that was so cool to see, but I mean, I sold out basically of, like, everything, so I was like, "Well, that's good."
What is your favorite scent?
Oh my gosh. I have so many. Right now, I'd say I have this Cuban tobacco that I haven't launched yet. That's like, do you like tobacco? Like the scent of it?
No.
Like tobacco leaves? No? Okay.
A lot of people do. Wait, like I love boy smelling candles. Like, how do you even pick the oils?
Um, so I kind of go off the reviews because on the websites there's multiple reviews. Then you can see like the top, the mid, and the base notes of each scent. So you kind of have a feel of where that scent will take your nose. But I mean, their olfactory gland is just very different. You know what I mean? Like everyone's is so
Yeah,
different. So
that's
that's
so
why,
true.
yeah, you like musky smells, whereas someone else might like sweet or floral. Just
Yeah. And
Depends.
and you're so like right because I have a lemon one in my
Mhm.
kitchen.
Yeah.
And I'll light when I'm cleaning or something like that.
Yes, that's the best.
So it's just so interesting. And like everyone has their thing.
Oh, totally. I mean, that's with anything in life, right? It'd
Do
be
you have
boring.
any that's oh totally. Like stress relief ones?
Yeah, I have that unwind one, the eucalyptus and peppermint.
Oh
And
yeah.
then what did I name? Oh, Peace of Mind was a lavender and chamomile scent.
Oh.
And that one was like bath time candle. You know what I mean?
Dre, what's your biggest setback like in this whole process? Has
Hmm.
any candles like failed? As in when you were
Mm,
creating them?
I mean, I would never say anything has ever failed. I've just learned a shit ton.
I love
Like,
that.
yeah, like if something so specifically, I had one candle where there was a little it's called like a sinkhole and it's like a little hole next to the wick. And if you light the wick, it'll extinguish and it won't light. And at that time, I was gonna sell a candle like that, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that would have been terrible." Um, so yeah, that was one of the lessons learned, I suppose.
Super interesting. Have you I guess how do you take um feedback?
Good. I mean, I always like it. I feel like I don't get enough of it, to be honest. I always get like my friends saying, "Oh my gosh, you're so good," but like I would appreciate some, you know,
Hard.
yeah, hard feedback like, "Hey, I would do this with the label," or whatever, and I had a lady do that actually. She messaged me and she's like, "Yo, you should do a clear label." And so for my square jars on my
Yeah.
spring launch, I did a clear label and I was like, "Damn, like they look good." So I was really excited about that.
And I'm sure I know that so I mean it's different vibes, right? So your new candles that you're gonna launch are not clear jars as a whole.
No, and honestly, I do want some feedback on that. I'm thinking of not doing a label at all and just having everything on the bottom. Just saying,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So then it's more of
like
like
a
a
Loon
decor
Lake.
piece. Yeah, well, you have to have a warning label on the bottom of the candle. On every single candle you own, there's a warning label on the bottom, and if it's not, it's a legal issue. But anyway, so I want to do that. I don't know. How do you feel about that? Just like no label on the side.
Okay, so all in, I think it's great marketing. I think that you can have both. I'll give you my feedback of the type of jars.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I have both. I don't have your new candles yet because they haven't launched yet. When do they
Yep.
launch?
Um, I'm still testing. I don't know, probably like 2.5 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, girl, that's great. Um, but so I personally in my bedroom or depending on the vibe, I want the candle like to see the candle to like
Mhm.
relaxing or if I just like so that way I would want a clear jar, you know?
Yes.
Um,
Okay.
but for instance, when I'm hosting or something like that, I don't need
Mhm.
people to see the candle to relax or whatever. I just
Right.
want it to smell good. So
Right.
that's my take on it.
Yeah, I didn't even think of the visual part. Honestly, like that's really good feedback. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. But
And I
I also
still do have glass. So you're saying I should keep my glass in
I think we should have
in my
both.
line. Okay. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think that it would be I mean, like for me, I would want to get both.
Okay. That's great feedback.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Totally. Well, Dre, so we're at the time in the podcast, as you know, Coach's Corner. So it's our Q&A.
Yeah, yeah.
So had the squad ask you some questions. So the first one is, if you had a commercial, what would you want on it and
Mhm.
your audience to get from it?
Okay. So it's going to be a very like cozy rustic vibe right away, right off the bat.
Love it.
And you're gonna go through some woods, like some forest.
Oh yeah,
It's
you
gonna be
are.
kind of dark, and then you're gonna get to this just cabin, this like desolate cabin, and it's just beautiful inside. And you have the candles just like lit and
Wow,
crackling, and it's a
crackling.
vibe, whole vibe.
I love that. Um, what type of music's in the background?
Ooh, it's gonna be I'm at a toss up between like a jazzy acousticy type vibe.
Like majestic.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe like a really deep husky male voice to just be like Loon Lake Candles. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, yes. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I love that. And then like the moon. Wow. I mean,
Yeah. Maybe some loon
I don't know
calls.
if someone wants to know the process of pouring your candles.
Okay. So you first heat up the wax. And
In what?
I have a like a big 35-pound wax melter, and it has a little dial on it, and you just put it to like 185 or 195 to heat it up. Oh,
It's it's
so
so interesting.
okay, so you have it on set at that. Like I said, it was taking forever a couple days ago, and I was really nervous, but it has
Oh
a
yeah.
temperature regulator on it, so it wasn't gonna burn the wax, and I had no idea, so I was thinking it was broken. But anyway, so
Oh,
you heat it up, and then you have to measure out your fragrance oil. I do 7% fragrance oil in my candles because anything more than that doesn't really matter. It'll just end up smelling the exact same. If
oh,
you have
interesting.
too Yeah, if you have too much, it'll just wreck the candle. It'll honestly look like little flakes. Your candle will just be like flaky, like dandruff. It'll be gross. Um, and then after you do that, you get the wax to be around 177 degrees. You put the fragrance oil inside the wax, and then you pour it into a candle and you cure it. You just let it sit. You want the air temp to be around 77 degrees though as well, 75 to 77 degrees, or else it'll
Cool.
just turn out trashy. So,
So did you make your apartment extra hot?
oh, it was spicy inside, you bet. And it was
Oh my
easy
god.
because I mean, like we had a one bedroom apartment, and now I'm in like a 50 by 100-foot shed. I don't even know how big it is. That might have
And you
been
just
way
put
too
a
big.
heater on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have this little
Cool.
cabinet that I'm gonna put them in, so it'll be nice.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So another person wants to know, what are your thoughts on essential oils compared to candles?
Um, so compared to fragrance oils or just like having essential oils in a diffuser over using a candle?
We could do both. I have no idea what
Okay.
they were
So,
thinking.
I mean, it's kind of interesting because scents heal people, right?
Mhm.
And I would say that healing would help more with an essential oil in a diffuser. I would not recommend putting essential oils in a candle because their flash point is so low that let's
What
say
is the
you
flash point?
so flash point is when it's in contact with a flame, at what temp will it start on fire? So,
Oh.
yeah, I mean anything really has it. I think paints and stuff even have it. But yeah, so with an essential oil, they're so low. It's like 100 degrees or like 110 degrees. I'm not really positive on that. But with a fragrance oil, they're way hotter, like 165 to like 200 degrees.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's just kind of a dangerous thing if you don't know what you're doing and you're making your candles with essential oils.
Okay. Would you ever make a candle with CBD oil? Have you ever thought about it?
I haven't thought about it. Does that help? Does that work? Oh, you could do like one of those pouring ones. You know those
Well,
candles that you like pour the wax on your body?
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's like a
That's
sexual
like a
thing.
spa thing. Stores do you dream selling their candles in?
Mm, that's a good question. And all of them,
Yeah.
if that's a choice. But I mean, really, I think the vibe that I'm kind of more going towards is like either some type of boutique store or
Right.
like a cabin decor store or something like that where it's more rusticy. It would be really sweet to be at like a Target just because, so many
Everyone
eyes on
buys them.
it. But I'm a one person show, so it's not like I can just like hammer out these candles left and right. But
Yeah.
maybe
Well,
one
right
day.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right
right.
now. I mean,
Goals are
maybe
high.
Jesus, maybe 2 months down the road it's a different
Yeah,
story. Who knows?
absolutely. Hey, I love that mindset.
Yeah, yeah.
Growth mindset. I think we already covered this. They want to know. Someone wants to know your favorite scent.
Oh, yeah, I like the Cuban tobacco one. But in the new
What's
I
your
had
most popular? How about that?
um the most popular ever I would say was that peppermint and eucalyptus one. That
I have
unwind.
I have Cozy Night behind me.
Oh, yeah, that one was really popular as well.
Hmm.
So that one too. All of them were like pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, I think they're all great.
Yeah, but as far as like selling even like it was pretty comparable, which is great. There wasn't one, especially in the spring line, that was just like, whoop, there it goes. Actually, the lemon one was. Lemon. That was a hot
Lemon,
seller. Yeah, out of the spring line.
which makes sense. I mean, in my mind, it makes sense because just lemon just smells so fresh. It's so interesting as I grow up. As I'm just here adulting, I just realized that my scents that I like are just maturing a bit. As in, like, I would probably get sugar cookie Christmas candle in college. And now
Mm.
I prefer, well, I don't like probably just like a birch or like something like
Mhm.
more. Also, I love just the smell of fresh linen. And
Yes.
so, where can we find you? Like,
Yeah.
tell us, let's do a couple plugs here and then we can
Sure.
close it out.
Sure. So I'm on Instagram at Loon Lake Candles. And
Yeah,
then on Facebook as well, just plug in Loon Lake Candles to the search bar and I'm right there. I have downloaded TikTok. Haven't made one. I
yeah,
will. Just taking time. And then if you want to email back and forth, it's just loonlakecandles@gmail.com.
I love that. Well, Dre, thank you so much for coming on. This was so fun. And congratulations on your success. Congratulations on leaving logistics, your mental health. And congratulations on just like being a boss ass lady.
Ah, likewise, Sarah. Thank you
Oh,
so much for having me on JV Adulting, my favorite podcast in the world.
you're sweet. Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to JV Adulting. What a great time. Please don't forget to rate and subscribe to our podcast and our YouTube channel and check us out on Instagram. Thanks so much. See you next time. Woohoo! Let's go.